Afternoon. I'm Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. Almost worked in Weather Impact Live in that introduction there.
That's okay.
Hi, I'm Bobby.
And I'm Colleen.
Yeah, welcome
Feels
to...
like a Thursday.
Well, you know, I've kind of been messed up on my days. I was messed up yesterday
same.
on my days, and when I got here this afternoon,
Yeah.
I had to ask you what day it was.
October 1st, here we are.
We are there, and so two hurricanes. Mm-hmm. Well, one that's falling apart, one that is strengthening. We're going to be warm and muggy, especially in the next week. We got some nice breezes coming. And then I walked in the hardware store and they got Christmas out.
Oh, no.
So, and I was still having a hard time with my days. Now I'm all messed up with Christmas, Halloween, and somebody told me Hobby Lobby has Valentine's Day stuff up.
Oh,
so
brother.
that would really throw me off. Yeah. All right, so first of all, the storms are moving away from us, all right? And we weren't anticipating any kind of impacts or direct impacts. They are pulling away from the U.S. We will get some breezes here that's not really associated with that, and I'll show you that coming up here in a little bit. But Bermuda and Colleen, they've done such a great job this year of avoiding.
Dodging and dodging.
Something like that?
Dodging and dodging. Maybe we should just start over. Let's just start over.
4:31, welcome to Weather Impact Live. All right, let's start with Hurricane Imelda. Now, Imelda has 100-mile-per-hour winds. This is the strongest that it has been in its lifespan at this time, okay? Yeah. The forecast, though, does go up to about 105, and that's later today. It will be making landfall, it looks like, very close to making landfall near Bermuda. Now, technically, landfalls if the center of the storm goes over any landmass, okay? This could miss Bermuda technically, but they're going to get a lot of wind out of it either way, all right?
Which is amazing because Bermuda is so small.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be very, very close. Winds right now 100 miles per hour. 966 millibars is the pressure. The good news is for Bermuda, it's hauling. This thing is going east-northeast at 20 miles per hour, so what weather they get will not last long, okay? It's moving very quickly, and that means it comes in and it comes out very quickly. Now, looking at the center there, trying to see if we see an eye develop here. You can, not quite in this area where the center is, but it is a strengthening storm system. Here's the track from the Hurricane Center, and there you go, 105 later tonight. Now, Cat 3 starts at 111. We don't expect that. And remember, this number, this 105, is likely around the center in one small little area. Most of the wind is a little less than that, even near the eye wall. But certainly, that's some of the sustained winds that to be watching for. And if you look at the cone here, they are pretty much right in the middle of this.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to be a tough one. And then by tomorrow morning, it's weakening. In fact, if you watch, it's going to go east and then eventually more north-northeast and fall apart as it's moving out over the cooler water. So Bermuda is the one place that has to watch it. Now, there are the forecast tracks, and the island itself is right at the end of that magenta line. All right, so because you can't see it, the models cover it up. But, you know, that's pretty much right in there somewhere. Some of them are actually a little bit further to the south. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference at this point. They're going to get some really good winds. I would imagine at least sustained winds in the 80s. And that is a lot of wind. So we'll have to watch it. Remember, that is tonight. I think by sunrise tomorrow morning, the storm's already pulling away for them. And then you can see the forecast models pretty much in agreement with what the Hurricane Center had going out. So here's the remnants of Humberto. And 70-mile-per-hour winds, pressure's coming up to 980. This is moving even quicker, east-northeast at 23 miles per hour. And you can see it's basically here. So some of the models are trying to say that this was going to kind of absorb it. And really, it's just the trough is sitting up here to the north, and that's what's picking up and taking it out. And there's high winds in that. And so it's just grabbed it and taken it with it. I don't see a big merger going on here between these two storms, much less a Fujiwara effect. But
yeah.
But
it did the job of pulling it away from the coast, which is what we wanted.
Great point. Yeah, that's the reason why Imelda kind of paused east of Jacksonville and then took off to the east. So good news there. Tropical storm watches. Here we go. We've got hurricane warnings for Bermuda, which makes sense, of course. You can see that there. And that will be through tonight into tomorrow morning. Locally, we've got some winds here that have been producing a little bit of swell on the northeast coast. But really, there's both of these storms. Look at the winds, all right? So most of that wind is offshore. We're losing a little bit there. But the waves,
Yeah.
The
it's gonna be
waves
rough
have
out
been,
there.
they've been pounding the coast. Remember, Humberto at one point was Cat 5, 160 mile per hour winds. I mean, it was way out there, but that was making swell. And that swell has been pushing onto the East Coast from Northeast Florida all the way up, especially through the Outer Banks. Then you had Imelda form, and Imelda got stronger. It's making swell too. So now you've got multiple swell directions. And in fact, I think they're going to keep swell through the next week almost, because more wind's going to pick up, although it's going to be more longshore, more parallel to the coast for them. I want to show you some video. This is drone video. I want to take you up to the Outer Banks. So it hasn't been a lot of wind for them per se. It's been breezy, but it's been higher than normal tides and high surf out there. And there we go. Remember when Aaron was going by, we were watching very closely a lot of those houses in the Buxton area. There goes another one there.
Shoo.
Well, they lost at least 5 of them, and there's still a lot of swell left over. And there's going to be a good northeasterly wind, which is what we call longshore current, which means it's parallel. It's moving from the northeast to the southwest, which kind of parallels the central and southern Outer Banks. And so they're going to get more erosion. And so we'll have to see. Well, I haven't seen this one yet.
Oh,
the yellow
wow.
house.
Look at that. That looks like a newer
Yeah.
house. I know a lot of these places are abandoned. We just had that package recently what was that, a week or two ago, where we were talking about the efforts that were being made to remove these structures. A lot of them, haven't been lived in quite some time because of this reason, because of erosion. But that one, the yellow one, looked like it was a little bit newer, more recent, I should say.
Yeah. No, we sent a reporter up there, and they sent back the story. Check this out. This is just wild to watch.
It's awful. Something that I think we all knew we might see one day, but there was a big part of us that hoped it wouldn't actually happen.
A nightmare has become a reality in Buxton as 5 homes collapsed on Tuesday. For Daniel Poland, the one falling here hitting home.
This one's really tough because I kind of grew up on this street and lived on this street for a few years.
An unbelievable scene for Luke Midget, who captured videos of some of the houses the minute they fell in.
I'm shocked. Can't imagine this happens anywhere else. 5 collapses within like 1 hour.
17 total now on Hatteras Island have been taken by the ocean since 2020. 11 in Rodanthe and 6 in Buxton. All 6 in Buxton coming in the last 2 weeks. The Buxton Civic Association hoping this can be a turning point in the future for stabilizing the area. Beach nourishment and a jetty repair are expected next year.
I think it has to be some sort of turning point, either a recognition that it's too late for these homes, but we've figured out some paths forward that we can maybe save the rest. The second line, before the other side of Old Lighthouse becomes oceanfront.
But with worries about what the rest of the week will bring, Buxton is going to need help.
We're going to need some help when it's over. We're going to need help moving forward. We're going to need help from the legislature, making some changes that allow us to help ourselves. And we've been screaming at semi-deaf ears, so it's time to get them unclogged.
The Cape Hatteras National Seashore is urging people to stay away from the collapsed houses. They fear future collapses are possible due to ocean conditions. A large portion of the beachfront is closed for public safety.
Ugh.
Man, that stinks. That one guy grew up in that area, and changing coastline, but if they get that passed to rebuild the jetties, that would certainly help.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that area, in most of the East Coast, the erosion takes place from north to south. And so you put a jetty there, and the south end of the island grows, and the north end gets usually ripped up. I know Wrightsville Beach has dealt with that. That's in southeastern North Carolina. They've dealt with that, well, for years, obviously.
Yeah.
These are the waves, the wet swell forecast. And what you're going to notice here is you're getting a couple different things. We're getting some swell. Let's go out through tomorrow afternoon. You're generating swell out here with the storms, and that's pushing back in this direction, okay? So a lot of that will get to the coast. But watch as we go through Friday and now into Saturday. You see this swell out here starting to die down a little bit. But what I haven't showed you yet, and we'll talk about here coming up after the break, is there's going to be a lot of wind it's doing that now, but it's coming down the coast like this. All right, and some of that's going to be coming right over top of us, even starting tomorrow. Okay, and so that's going to push a lot of erosion along this coastal area here. Even in Myrtle Beach and down into Georgia, those areas are going to be dealing with a lot of it. And they've had a lot over in Northeast Florida, and they're going to continue to see that through most of next week. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more local forecast. Look, it's the rip currents, it's the erosion over on the East Coast, but here in Tampa Bay, I think you're going to enjoy a nice breeze for the next few days. We'll talk about that right after the break.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
These big trucks are dangerous and fast. And when it comes to big truck wrecks, the stakes can be really high. That's why you need a lawyer that's gotten big results for his clients. Hi, I'm attorney Dan Newland. I've recovered billions of dollars for accident victims. So if you've been hit by one of these big trucks or involved in a car accident, call me now. Let me fight for you.
At 813-888-8000. That's 813-888-8000.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Secure outdoor equipment and generators. Clear debris from around your AC unit and schedule a pre-storm HVAC and electrical inspection.
Those are some great tips, and Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40-TODAY.
Jeopardy is for everybody.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah.
With players just like you.
Paramedic, a retired teacher, a psychiatrist.
I'm a little bit competitive.
That's the spirit.
Watch their victories.
We have a giant killer.
And heartbreaks.
Oh, no.
The next super champion could be anyone.
It's almost like a superhero origin story.
It could be you.
Oh, wow.
It's all happening on Jeopardy.
Jeopardy weeknights at 7:30, right here on 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, 442. We talked about that breeze picking up here Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But I think, you know, Colleen, we were watching, a lot of the models are saying Northeast Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, the Carolinas, they're going to keep wind for the next 6 to 7 days.
Yeah, definitely going to be rough out there. Now, the water is getting cold enough where up north, I don't think many folks will be in the water. But, you know, just in case. There is strong rip currents that are expected next couple days, of course, with those strong winds and, you know, ankle deep water. That's all it takes for somebody to get swept off their feet. Now, Florida, you see, is highlighted in the red, but that extends all the way up the north coast. So
the Carolinas?
Yeah. Which the Carolinas, I would guess that their water is probably a little bit warmer than it would be in Jersey.
Yeah, there's definitely people still in there right now. The thing about the Carolinas is you get down to Florida and it's a lot of waves coming right at you. You get in the Carolinas and somebody gets in the water here and they're down here in no time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not that technically that far, but you know what I'm saying. They get out on the beach right in front of you and you just go right down. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
That is very dangerous. And a lot of rip currents. So rip current risk is high there. And then even up north. Yeah, and so it's going to go all the way up through the Jersey Shore, even out towards Martha's Vineyard, high rip current. Not a lot of folks swimming there, but you get the idea. And what you're also seeing here, you see those white lines, those are the winds. And you see how they parallel the coastline, right? All the way down until you get down to Florida, then a little bit more onshore. That wind direction will actually stick around for the most part as we get going into this Thursday, Friday, Saturday for us. Now, October 1st, we start looking, in August, you see we're looking all the way out, right? When we get to August and we're watching for tropical development, well, you know what, let me just back it all the way up. let me just explain how this works. So in May and early June, we're looking here. We're looking Western Caribbean, Gulf, and Northern Bahamas and off the southeast coast, all right? That's where we look for tropical development. Any storms laying around off an old boundary that start to develop, that type of thing.
Right.
Kind of the same thing in June.
Yeah.
But it's more of the Gulf and the Western Caribbean, right? And then as we get into July, we start to shift a little bit more towards the east. We're down into the Bahamas. We're still looking in the Gulf, but now we're in the Caribbean, right? And they can come through the Caribbean, they can form out in the East Caribbean. Then you get into August, and really July is kind of a slower month. August, we really start to ramp up the activity, really from August 1st on, okay? And so you can see all the different locations that we can see. What's happening here, right? The water's getting warmer.
Right.
All right, and so you have a better chance for development. Then September is the statistical peak of hurricane season. And look at, I mean, now you're talking long track storms all the way off the Cape Verde Islands, off of Africa, right? Coming all the way, a lot of recurves. That's what we've seen so far this year. There's Bermuda, right? Erin, Fernan. We've got a couple, you know, Imelda's doing it. We've just had Humberto do it.
Yeah.
So a lot of them, thank goodness, have been taking that track. Now as we get into October, we stop looking out here as much. I mean, it can happen, but we start looking down here.
Yep.
And for Florida, that, you know, anything in the Gulf or Western Caribbean is really something that we have to watch. A lot of them tend to come up and then come across and go out. We may actually get something trying to pop up here in the Bahamas as we get into about a week and a half from now. And then once we get past Halloween into November, you see that area that we typically see development shrinks quite a bit. This is the European forecast model. I'm going to run this out through the upcoming weekend. This is through Sunday. Don't see anything really on there, not much, okay? Now let's go out through a week from today. This is Wednesday. We're going to be basically watching this area right in here, okay?
Yeah.
And then the Bahamas. Watch as we go. Now this is about 10 days out, but you see that?
October 11th. Yeah.
And that's about when an area that we would be watching. If something were to get going in here, a lot of times they do come up and out. Sometimes they can come into the Gulf, but we will have to wait and see for that one. I do think we're at least going to get a little bit of the wind shear there. That's the good news. That will be pushing some of it away, or at least trying to keep it unorganized if it were to come in here. But this is Monday, October 6th. You see a little bit of a break. And then it starts to come back as we get towards the 10th and 11th. Something like this. Now, if this were the setup where you've got this big trough coming down and going like that, and then you develop a low right in here, it's going up and out.
Right.
Right, so that would be good news if that were to happen. So let's talk a little bit about the local forecast here, because we do have a few showers around the area right now. Most of this is over on the East Coast, and there's not a lot of it, but we will see a few more even here in West Central Florida as we get going this afternoon. There's Sarasota County seeing a few pushing towards Venice. You look up here towards Pasco County. We've got a couple in Western Pasco, Starkey Ranch area. And then you go up to the north, we've got a few in Hernando and Citrus County. Not a lot. Now, the winds. This is the story over the next few days, okay? There's a high pressure developing to the north. The difference between relatively lower pressures here and higher pressures here give us what's called a pressure gradient. You see these lines? That's the pressure gradient.
The tighter the line, the stronger the winds.
The closer those are together, exactly right. And look what happens by Friday. And notice here, we'll go over some numbers when we come back here, but notice that right there. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It starts to let up for us. It's not as breezy, but look at the Carolinas. It hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
And in fact, it starts to turn a little bit more on shore for them. It really doesn't stop for them until Tuesday and Wednesday. And then here we go again next. This is October 11th, right? There's some low trying to form right here. Got those northeast winds coming right back down. So probably going to try and do this pattern over once again. Okay, we'll take one more break, and when we come back, we're going to get hyper local. Your Tampa Bay forecast is coming up.
Weather impacts your life every day. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. You can find out about any change in the weather with our 10 Tampa Bay Plus app. Just stream for the latest forecast, any weather impact alert, updated tropics forecast, and take a live look at the radar. Anytime you want, and it's free. It's just one more way we're helping you stay informed, prepared, and connected. Stream 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
Jeopardy is for everybody.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah.
With players just like you.
Paramedic, retired teacher, psychiatrist.
I'm a little bit competitive.
That's the spirit.
Watch their victories.
We have a giant killer.
And heartbreaks.
Oh, no.
The next super champion could be anyone.
It's almost like a superhero origin story.
It could be you.
Oh, wow.
It's all happening on Jeopardy.
Jeopardy weeknights at 7:30 right here on 10 Tampa Bay.
I was driving when an 18-wheeler turned in front of me. I locked up my brakes, bam, slid dead into the truck. Bloody and hurt, I was loaded into an ambulance, and that's when I put out my phone and called Attorney Dan Newland. Dan jumped right on it. He was in my corner the whole way. He fought the fight from beginning to end and got me $1 million.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Dan, your awesome team deserves 6 stars. Thank you for winning my case.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Secure outdoor equipment and generators. Clear debris from around your AC unit and schedule a pre-storm HVAC and electrical inspection.
Those are some great tips. And Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40
All right, welcome back. So when we left off, we were talking about that area high pressure that's sweeping across the northeast, and we're going to have some winds that are picking up the pace here as we move into the next couple days. Right now, we have those winds that we have, of course, our daily sea breeze that sets up along the west coast, but more importantly, we have that northeast wind, which will feel pretty nice, but it will also increase our rain coverage as we move into this weekend. But you can see all that contour, the yellow and the greens, indicating that we will have some breezier winds the next couple of days as we kind of.
This is 11 o'clock tonight. I expect them to pick up a little bit.
Yeah.
This evening. It's going to feel nice out there.
Yeah, especially at nighttime. You know, that's usually we have the winds that are lighter at night, and you know, a couple popcorn showers right now, but we are looking at increasing rain coverage. Here's tomorrow.
Let's do the winds here because you can see where we've got gusts overnight in the teens. That's not a lot of wind.
Right.
But as you said, Colleen, it is a little bit more than you normally see overnight,
more
right?
wind than what you normally have,
This
especially
is
closer to the coast.
This is tomorrow morning, and look at tomorrow afternoon. In fact, let me back that up to some of those higher gusts that you're going to see.
Yeah, it's hard for me to see the gusts on the screen.
So the blue number is the gust. This is around 1:30 tomorrow afternoon. Those are gusts in the 20s, mid-20s, and sustained in the teens. Again, that's not a lot of wind. It's not going to cause a lot of trouble, but it's certainly a breezy day. And then as we get into tomorrow afternoon, 4:30, Dade City gusting to 25, 24 and frostproof. And then a little less as we get into Thursday night. But look at the winds over the water. I mean, even on the East Coast, it's going to really pick up over there.
Oh, yeah. Definitely
and then this
choppy
is
for our boater friends.
Absolutely, yeah. Small craft advisories Thursday through Sunday.
Right.
And that's here in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Right? Especially over on the East Coast. And it's going to go longer than Sunday for them. This is Friday afternoon, gusts in the 20s again, sustained in the teens. And then you notice as we get into Saturday morning, same deal. Nice breeze. I'm excited about that. that. For us, that's a little taste of fall. Right, and the dew points will drop down into the upper 60s through all of this, and then start to come back up over the weekend. So tomorrow and Friday with a nice breeze, and Colin, you were mentioning a little bit of that rain chance. This is this evening, that's the rain that's left over. And then tomorrow morning we start dry, but watch in the afternoon hours, a few passing showers. So that's around 2:30. But with that kind of breeze around, these don't last long at all.
Right. They're jetting.
They're moving. They really are. They're moving through really quickly. That's around 7 o'clock Thursday night. Friday, we'll start dry again in the morning, in the afternoon.